And hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln, your host for Oklahoma Sports Scene. We tape every Monday night here at the Billy Sims Barbecue and the Farm Shopping Center. This is the anchor's position of their 40 restaurant empire. It goes across 7 states. Great barbecue. Come and enjoy it with us. Here's our lineup now for Oklahoma Sports Scene this week. Pistols firing. Dave Hunziker, the longest running voice of Oklahoma State athletics, is going to join us in a special Zoom call to talk all things Cowboy football. Byte Magazine, that's the Bible of the Oklahoma City high school teams. And the guy has been publishing it for years and years. Austin Chadwick will be here with us to talk about that. Mustang Broncos. My buddy Michael Knight set up the interview with Coach Lee Blankenship, head coach of Mustang. The team is really to challenge the teams here in the East. You'll think you'll enjoy that. And our Oilers coach, Rob Murray, will be here to visit with us again. He'll talk about the Oilers hockey exhibition game coming up next week, and also a little preview of the National Hockey League season, which starts again this weekend. And the Oklahoma City Thunder here in Tulsa for a game, in fact, played on Wednesday night. We'll be there. Michael Knight and myself will be there and have some special video for you. It'll be on our YouTube channel. We'll have some on the show next week for you as well. Hot topics, well, take a look at the AP poll. Nothing hot about it if you're an Oklahoma Sooner fan. For the first time in forever, since 2020, they are out of the top 25 poll, as they should be after that performance at TCU. OSU, by the way, up 2 spots. They sure earned that at Baylor. Great win for the Cowboys. They're number 6. They have that impressive 36-25 win there. TCU jumps into the poll at 17 after beating Oklahoma. Other 2 teams in the Big 12, who would have thought? Kansas, number 19. That is the first time in the top 25 since 2009 for the Jayhawks. And Kansas State, number 20 in the poll. Hey, I got happy birthday wishes to the King. Oklahoma Sooner coaching legend Barry Switzer, October 5th, turned 85 years young. Happy birthday, and long live the King. Final road match for the FC Tulsa soccer squad. They were in Indianapolis this past weekend. Had some great championship play. Got all 3 points in the match. They won it 4-2. And a superstar in the horizon coming up on the team, 18-year-old Luka Sawinski. He had a hat trick, 3 goals, scored goals in the 17th, the 48th, and the 62nd minute. One of the bright young stars for FC Tulsa's side. Up next, their last 2 matches of the season, both at home at One Oak Field, October 8th against Monterey Bay FC. On October 15th, it wraps up the season, Memphis 901, both kick at 7:30 at One Oak Field. And a reminder, Tulsa Oilers, you guys still have football dreams. Well, the Oiler football team, the indoor football league team, is going to have open tryouts. They're set for October 22nd, noon to 3 p.m., Titan Main Sports Complex, 81st Street in South Tulsa. Go to their website. You have to sign up, register there. Think you can still play football, want to try to play indoor football, that's the place to go. Tulsa Oilers indoor football, open tryouts. Much more on that in the shows coming up later on. Coming up next, Dave Hunziker, Pistols firing, OSU Cowboys.
Get down with monsters and money this October at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa. Win up to $1 million October 15th, 22nd, and 29th. Take a chance and be one of 15 lucky winners rocking their way to the bank. Then, don't miss our $10,000 costume party. Dress to impress October 29th from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. and become one of 10 scary winners to claim some cash. Only at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa.
The Tulsa Oilers are back on the ice. With a new owner, a new look, and a new attitude. Save big on season tickets today. 2022-23 season. Tickets starting as low as $17 per month. Get your season tickets at TulsaOilers.com. TulsaOilers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets available now at TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers are back.
Billy Sims knows barbecue. How about 9 meats, including brisket, chicken, pork, turkey, and ribs? Just to name a few, and 7 home-style sides. We start early to slow smoke the most delicious meats for over 12 hours.
Every day.
Wherever you want, online, dine-in, curbside, or carry-out. We've had a passion for over 15 years of serving delicious barbecue to people like you. Billy Sims has fast, drop-in friendly neighborhood service, loud enough for a tailgate and fancy enough for a wedding. Like we said, Billy Sims knows barbecue.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
The 2022 Remington Park Thoroughbred season continues through December 17th. Racing starts at 7 p.m. Normal weekly schedule is Wednesday through Saturday. Oklahoma Classics Night is Friday, October 21st, with more than $1 million on the line for the top Oklahoma breds. For more information on Remington Park Racing and Casino Gaming, visit remingtonpark.com.
He is the longest tenured play-by-play voice of the Oklahoma State Cowboys in school history. Pistols firing himself. Old Mizzou alum buddy of ours, Dave Hunziker. Dave, congratulations on a long run at OSU.
Well, thank you. It just, it means two things. It means people are very patient. It means I'm old. That's probably about it, really.
Well, I was interested too. See, you got an assist to get that job. I heard from a friend of yours, OU Athletic Director Joe Castiglione. Is that true?
That is true. Yeah. Our Mizzou ties,
Right.
obviously run back, goodness, almost 40 years now. I guess it's been since I was a student there and he was athletic director. So, oh, yes, most definitely. And Dave Hart Sr., another who has passed away, longtime athletic director at Missouri and commissioner of the Southern Conference, also was very involved in that. So they played the big role in me being here for sure.
Well, you followed some legends. Bill Platt, of course, started the original Cowboy Network. Our great friend, the late Bob Berry Sr. And then, of course, Bill Tegans, and took over that job on the end of tragedy. But boy, it's been a great run for you, Dave, and done a heck of a job.
Well, thank you for saying that, Chris. That means a lot. We've won a lot of games. I mean, that's the biggest thing is football's had unprecedented success. It's been lots and lots of fun. We've had so many great players. Of course, in the early days, basketball was really rolling. Went to the Final Four in 2004, which would have been, I guess, year number 3 for me, if I'm doing my math right. So it's, when it's high level success, which has been the case for football and basketball and a number of other sports here, when you're doing those games, it's a lot of fun. And it's also, everybody's in a good mood pretty much all the time.
And how about those Cowboys? I'm in a good mood. 5-0
Yeah.
now, beating the defending Big 12 champions on their turf. A heck of a game in Waco and that impressive 36-25 win last week.
It was, and it was impressive in a number of areas. Special teams, you could argue, perhaps was a difference in the game. A downed punt, the 1.5-yard line. Tom Hutton put it down there, one of the best punters in the country. Coverage unit got it covered up. First play that Baylor runs, it's a tackle for a safety. And then later in the game, first play of the second half, Jaden Nixon takes a kickoff back 98 yards for a touchdown to put Oklahoma State up 20. And Baylor cut the lead to 1 score, but the Cowboys were able to hold them off. Defensively, a lot of improvement, a lot of new things. Offensively, Spencer Sanders was the best player on the field. There's no doubt about that. And while he threw 1 interception, he had some very important plays, some very important runs in the first half when, he rushed for more than 70 yards in the first half of play and made some big throws. And so you see the value of experience at quarterback, something that not many Big 12 teams have, at least experience at the school that they're at now. And you see that with Sanders. It's a big advantage, and probably more so this year than some other years.
Dave, if he come back next year, he can, right? If he wants to.
He could. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what his thought process is, but he's, he just continues to grow up, as a guy that, early on, just took a long time to become versed in the offense and understand everything that was going on. And now he fully understands it. He's very comfortable. He loves playing fast. So this tempo offense suits him perfectly because he wants to play fast. He likes to get out of the pocket and run. Playing fast really lends itself to that. So, he is in a great spot right now, and he's having a fantastic season so far. And I don't think that anything will change. I think he'll continue down that path.
All right, Dave, did that victory Saturday make up for that yard short finish at the Big 12 championship game? Boy, that hurt.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know about that necessarily. Every team has its own personality, and every team has its own, sort of role in life, role in history, if you will. But, for this OSU team, as far as this year is concerned, it was sort of a sign to everybody that, hey, while the first 3 non-conference games may not have been terribly difficult against high-quality teams, this is a team that is legitimately one of the best in the Big 12, if not perhaps when it's all said and done, the best. And the good news is with 6 new starters out of 7 on the back end defensively, and with, 2 new starters in the offensive line, and new tailbacks for the most part, as far as prominent roles are concerned. Dominic Richardson has been here, but hasn't played like this extensively. You feel like this team will just keep getting better. And that's the exciting part of it is, here we are, we're a month in, undefeated, and there's no reason to think that this team will do nothing but improve because you have so many new starters in a lot of key areas, but you've survived it up to this point.
I know people on this side of the state, in Bixby especially, are awful proud of the Presley boys. What a great job they've done at OSU.
Yeah. Well, and Brennan, we're looking forward to having Braylon on the field even more. He's been out there a couple of times, and right now he's still just sort of learning and getting baptized into all of the things that go with being a major college football player, but he will do just fine. It took Brennan a long time, that COVID season, that 2020 year, to really make a significant impact. And his coming out was at the bowl game in Orlando when he just had a fantastic game and helped Oklahoma State get off to a good start against Miami. And of course, Brennan's Brennan, he just makes plays, makes catches, runs away from people, obviously very dynamic in the return game. It's ironic that, of course, feel bad for Brennan in a way that, he didn't get the kickoff return for a touchdown against Baylor. It's pretty amazing when your number 2 kickoff return guy can take one back for a touchdown. That tells you where you are, but they are valuable pieces to the puzzle, and they're going to be for a while.
All right. I got to ask you before you leave, though. Tell us about pistols firing. How'd that come about?
Rauschenberg strikes it. From left to right, it tumbles down at the 1 to Nixon. Straight ahead to the 10, out to the 15, 20, 25 to the 30, 35. Nixon stumbles, breaks a tackle, and Nixon's on the loose to the 40, 30, 25, 20. Good night, Vienna! Pistols firing! Touchdown, Oklahoma State!
It was just sort of an experiment. I just threw it out there the second game I did against Louisiana Tech for fun, just to see what would happen. It probably wasn't the smartest thing to do, but I did it anyway. It kind of falls along the line with how I live. I just said, we'll just see what happens. And what happened is we started winning. And that's why it took off. It took off because sort of at the same time, while that first team I called here went 4-7, the last game was the win over Oklahoma in Norman that knocked Oklahoma out of the national championship game. And as the team started to have success, people got fired up, and I think you could have said almost anything, and they would have responded to it because this team was winning at a higher level than it had ever won at before. And we had tremendous players, and we've had great coaches, Les Miles and Mike Gundy. So it's just sort of an exclamation point, hopefully, on lots of great things, not only that are happening now, but have happened now for better than 20 years. That's really what it comes down to.
Dave Hunziker, the voice of the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Keep those pistols firing, David. Good luck to the Cowboys. Keep them going, buddy.
Yeah, we'll do our best. So far, so good. Got through a big road game at Baylor, so that's pretty important.
We'll come right back with Oklahoma Bike Magazine's guy, Austin Chadwick, talk high school football in Oklahoma. Straight ahead.
You did it, Tulsa. You name the team. We name the team. You name the team. The Tulsa Oilers indoor football team kicks off in March, Saturday nights, 7 p.m., BOK Center. Season tickets are on sale now. Go to TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com to get your season tickets now. Don't miss your chance to experience the fast pace, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of professional indoor football. TulsaOilersFootball.com. TulsaOilersFootball.com.
Billy Sims knows barbecue. How about 9 meats, including brisket, chicken, pork, turkey, and ribs? Just to name a few, and 7 home-style sides. We start early to slow smoke the most delicious meats for over 12 hours.
Every day.
Wherever you want, online, dine-in, curbside, or carry-out. We've had a passion for over 15 years of serving delicious barbecue to people like you. Billy Sims has fast, drop-in friendly neighborhood service, loud enough for a tailgate and fancy enough for a wedding. Like we said, Billy Sims knows barbecue.
Get down with monsters and money this October at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa. Win up to $1 million October 15th, 22nd, and 29th. Take a chance and be one of 15 lucky winners rocking their way to the bank. Then, don't miss our $10,000 costume party. Dress to impress October 29th from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. and become one of 10 scary winners to claim some cash. Only at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
Hi, Hi, I'm Dr. Caleb Nelly with Tulsa Bone and Joint in Owasso.
And I'm Dr. Ian Goodman with Tulsa Bone and Joint in Owasso, and we are your team physicians for the Owasso Rams.
I'm Zach McGinty.
I'm Kate Grady.
I'm Dexter Millsap.
And we are the athletic trainers for the Owasso Rams.
Here's some of the services that we provide in the Tulsa Bone and Joint Athletic Training Facility.
Well, they call it the Bible of Oklahoma sports. Hard to argue that, too. This is Vipe Magazine. This is their publisher, good friend Austin Chadwick. Been doing this for a lot of years, along with our buddy Mark Rogers over on the west side of the state. Talk about this magazine. When did it all get underway, and what was the main goal of this?
Well, I mean, every year when we put this thing together, Mark's been doing this for 27 years now.
Is that right?
And he and I have been doing it together really for the past 16 years. And it's an undertaking. I mean, we start early. Michael's even helped us in certain years. He knows that when you get into April and May, you go ahead and start putting all your information together, reaching coaches. And so it is literally about a 3 to 4 month process, and you put it out and before the season starts, and then of course throughout the year, regardless of if they're playing now or not, people got to pick it up because it's got all the information you need. So
this is the 15th year, right? You can put your magazine there. That's, by the way, this 2022 edition includes information on, listen, it's 335 high schools, along with about 2,800 athletes. And it just amazed me. Got all that together. That's a lot of work. I can't imagine.
It is.
Talking to every coach in the state.
Every coach, you're either going to get them on the phone or you're going to get your questionnaire from every coach, and it works out really well because they know their team the best, and it's funny, if they miss a kid, they find out from a parent or two, and they'll let us know that. But from that standpoint, it's been really it's evolved over the years, but one thing we still stick to is that. We try to make sure we have what we call a team capsule or information on every single team.
Right.
And so that was our goal. This year we got every single team that's playing high school football.
It's so helpful too. I use it all the time, broadcast and stuff with Union, but I love the fact you have the schedule for all the teams here. You have also the last 8 years of records, which works well with that too. And another thing I really appreciate is the Vipe 100.
Oh, yeah.
And talk about how you guys decide on the top 100 players through the whole state of Oklahoma.
Well, we just throw darts at a board. And it is, it's a combination of things. There's a lot of kids that were underclassmen last year that were in our top 100. And, we stay away from technically the recruiting side of things as far as, ranking these kids where they transition into college. It is more about who are the top 100 high school football players. Right. And so we get into a lot of debate sometimes because you take a school like Anadarko or like Washington or something, and if they've got a kid down there that's rushing for 2,500 yards and leading him to a state championship game, he's going to be in the top 100. I mean, he's one of the best high school players in the state, but he might be a kid that's not going to transition into college, but that's not what we're ranking. And so that's essentially how it goes, and obviously with our connections all over the state, we peruse it pretty good, and then not to exclude the guys that are getting Division I looks and things like that. Generally, if a guy's got a Division I offer or a couple of 1AA offers or something like that, then they'll be in the top 100 as well because they're probably going to be pretty good football players.
Austin Chadwick, our publisher of Vipe Magazine here. You guys can pick it up. All the newsstands have it, right?
Well, and really so much of our traffic comes online. You can order it at vipeok.com here in the Tulsa area. Midwest Sporting Goods is the best place to go get it. Okay. And so everybody knows where that is. And everybody's the beauty with that is everybody who is involved in football generally has a kid playing or something, and they're always going by the store anyway, so it always makes sense to put it there so people can pick it up and it goes well. So
we moved into the second month of the season. We're into district play now, and some of your thoughts on the quality of the football team so far in the state.
It's pretty good. I mean, obviously, you feel bad, and if you start in 6A, we've had some good matchups, obviously, early in the season. One of the kids we put on the cover, Cole Adams,
what a shame!
He's electric.
Gosh,
and
he got hurt. So, he's the Alabama commit, right?
He's the Alabama commit for Owasso, and they hook up with Bigsby in that first game of the year.
Right.
Bigsby had
25,000 people.
Oh yeah, it was a big time crowd, and I wanted to say he had 7 or 8 catches for 100 yards in the first half. They couldn't cover him, and then he busts up his shoulder. So with that being said, Bill Blankenship at Owasso is trying to figure out how that works. Jinx is it's weird. They've got a lot of talent, but they're banged up too.
When we were playing, Union was playing them. It was like 80% of their starting offensive linemen were out.
That's 4 out of 5.
Then you worry about it, and they worry about it already at Union too. Is usually the team that wins the regular season.
That's right.
Gets beaten in the playoffs.
That's typically I've been a part of that, and so. But, you know, I think one of the most impressive things is that what Bigsby's been able to do. And listen, it's.
I mean, we moved up to 6A1. We need to move it up to Division II in college.
That's a whole different ballgame.
Unbelievable, Austin.
It is. And, you know, we don't have any kind of historic Jinx Union teams or anything like that. But, I mean, the bottom line is it doesn't get any bigger or better than 6A1. And what they've been able to do, I remember talking with Lauren Montgomery, and he's a buddy of mine, and we just, the challenges, he said, he made a good point. He said, you know, it's going to be challenging for our team because I don't have a Presley I can just go hand the ball off to. And he's had that the last, 5 or 6 years.
And now Oklahoma State's happy to have
That's exactly right. So, but he's finding other ways, obviously. And then the program as a whole, it is, you know, I've been a part of some of these big programs growing up. I've seen it. And when I'm involved in Bigsby's, when I'm involved with their booster club and helping them do their printed programs and their tickets and things like that, I see the community support in Bigsby, and I'll never forget making a call to somebody. I said, you know, I've seen this before, and it resided over in Jinx from about 1995 to about 2010.
Yeah.
And it's just an onslaught of community support. Everybody's all in. I mean, everything from the youth on up. And Bigsby's got it going. And so from that standpoint, it's really impressive what they've done. And because I knew the program back when Pat McGrew was running it, and they were good. They were doing what they were doing in 5A. But now what Lauren Montgomery has done to transition into 6A and now 6A1 and continue to be successful it's just amazing. It's absolutely.
And all these schools probably are the same as the college. The facilities. Too.
You know.
And I guess certainly Union has set the standards. How about that stadium, huh?
You know,
$44 million project.
It was pretty impressive. I was in school there right before they built the UMAC, and that was a big deal.
Yeah,
if you remember.
yeah.
And so back when I played at Union, there was a grass field out there, if you remember. That was our parking spots for the games. But what they've done to kind of renovate everything, of course, you know, Emily's done a phenomenal job. Emily Barkley, the athletic director at Union High School, and really Kirk Hartzler, this was one of the things he really wanted to do. And I've known Dr. Hartzler for many years. He used to coach me in basketball growing up. His wife was one of my teachers. But this was one of the things he really wanted to, you know, kind of see the district through and put this thing together. And it is impressive. It reminds me of as good as it gets in Texas, because some of those big high schools you see down there have phenomenal facilities, great stadiums. It's as good as any of that. And so,
Michael Knight, our director on the show here, and of course is PrepRedZone.com, covers the state and stuff. And he set us up with an interview. We did a Zoom interview this morning. We're going to have it on the show, in fact, the next section, with Lee Blankenship from Mustang. And they, facility-wise, again, Michael told me, they're probably making the same push to the east side. I asked Lee, I asked you too, why is there such a gap between the east and the west side and the big schools?
It gets down to the philosophy and how they structured their schools. And this is systemic, and it's been the way it's been for decades. And I know this, you know, I had an old coach that was one of our coaches at Union. He was at Norman North. He took him to a state championship game against Jinx back a handful of years ago. And I'll never forget him telling a story just about, hey, they needed to make some upgrades to their weight room. And he goes to the board, and this is what they want to do. Well, for every dime they put into Norman North, they need to do the same thing for Norman High School. And that's a big problem. And so and I don't mean it's a problem. I just mean from the standpoint of if you're going to compete at the highest level, and as a district you're going to have multiple high schools within the district, you're going to have to bring everybody along at the same pace. And so the two schools that have done it differently out there, and Deer Creek is kind of the third one, is UConn and Mustang. They have not split up their high schools. They're sticking with one big high school, and you're seeing a lot of what they did. You know, David Fisher, when he was the athletic director at UConn, they were developing all kinds of stuff out there. Now with Lee Blankenship and the momentum he's got at Mustang, they're doing the same thing. And so they don't mind a big school. And where that was kind of the philosophy over there on the west side and in Oklahoma City. They wanted to split schools. Let's get a Westmore, a Southmore, let's do all that stuff. And that's what's really kind of set them behind. And here's why. It's systemic in the situation to where when kids are growing up through a football program, and like I talked about Bigsby, you got little Spartans out there that are 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and that's what they dream about. These kids that grow up in a Putnam City or Norman or any of these schools over there that have multiple high schools, they have no idea which high school they're going to. They have an idea maybe, but they don't wear their colors when they're young. They're playing for the Bobcats. They're not playing for the Norman North, you know, Timberwolves or Norman Tigers or something like that. And so from that standpoint, you get into the situation to where there's a lot of pride that goes into it. And I used to tell coaches on the West Side all the time that just didn't understand. I was like, you guys are always going to be behind because these kids over here that play in the IFC and that grow up and play in these systems, it's systemic. I mean, it consumes you. And you know, over here, you got a kid in 8th grade coming to your football camp, and you have no idea if you're going to coach him in high school.
Well, there's more to life than just football. What else do you have to offer?
Throughout the year, you know, we do a softball. We did a little softball preview. We previewed all the softball teams in the state of Oklahoma, and then we've got our normal magazines we do in Tulsa and in Oklahoma City, and so we've been doing this. I can't believe it, 17 years now.
Wow.
And I got involved obviously about a year and a half after I graduated college. I was doing some TV stuff with KWHB and with Cox and you know, a couple of guys called me and wanted to do a magazine, and it's so much more digital now, but we still print the magazines every month. People want them, people want to order them, and so that's how we've been doing it, and it's amazing. It's been this long. That was back in your Wintercom days.
That's the old days, that's for sure. That's right. I think you were still printing stuff. I want to have it in my hands.
I know you do.
I know you do. I love that too.
I always make sure and set aside a couple when I get a call from Chris saying, "Come, let me get one of those magazines."
That's right. Austin Chadwick, publisher of Bike Magazine. You want to be in tune to high school sports, get involved with him as well. And of course, my buddy Mark Rogers, give a best to Mark on the West Side. Michael does a great job for us, keeping us in tune to all the high school stuff. Coming up, we mentioned we have a Zoom call with the head football coach of the Mustang Broncos. It's another Blankenship, Lee Blankenship. Has some good stuff for us coming up.
Billy Sims knows barbecue. How about 9 meats, including brisket, chicken, pork, turkey, and ribs? Just to name a few, and 7 home-style sides. We start early to slow smoke the most delicious meats for over 12 hours.
Every day.
Wherever you want, online, dine in, curbside, or carry out. We've had a passion for over 15 years of serving delicious barbecue to people like you. Billy Sims has fast, drop-in friendly neighborhood service, loud enough for a tailgate and fancy enough for a wedding. Like we said, Billy Sims knows barbecue.
You did it, Tulsa. You name the team. We name the team. You name the team. The Tulsa Oilers indoor football team kicks off in March, Saturday nights, 7 p.m., BOK Center. Season tickets are on sale now. Go to TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com to get your season tickets now. Don't miss your chance to experience the fast pace, helmet hitting, pad popping excitement of professional indoor football. TulsaOilersFootball.com. TulsaOilersFootball.com.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
Get down with monsters and money this October at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa. Win up to $1 million October 15th, 22nd, and 29th. Take a chance and be one of 15 lucky winners rocking their way to the bank. Then, don't miss our $10,000 costume party. Dress to impress October 29th from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. and become one of 10 scary winners to claim some cash. Only at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
We welcome to Oklahoma Sports Scene the guys, the king of the West Side of Oklahoma football right now, Mustang head football coach Lee Blankenship. Lee, that's a heck of a family name you have there. Blankenship's all over the place in this eastern side of the state too.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I always say, you know, when I walk in the room and somebody says, "Hey, there's Coach Blankenship," and everybody turns and looks, they're just disappointed that when they see me and not Bill or Josh or somebody. But no, I honored to share obviously the last name with those guys, and means a lot to me to have a chance to coach football in Oklahoma.
And you didn't feel bad being your cousin Bill last week with Owasso?
Not one bit. No, anytime I have the opportunity to line up across from Bill and look over and see him on the sidelines, it's almost surreal to me. He is always just been a role model for me and someone who I wanted to emulate, and it's really cool for me now to get a chance to compete against him.
And Bill, of course, is third right now on the all-time winningest list of Oklahoma high school football coaches. with 257. He did not get 258 at Mustang, I might point out there. So, and then how about Josh in Broken Arrow? What are the connections with Josh in Broken Arrow?
Yeah, absolutely. So Josh is Bill's son. And Josh and I, our grandfathers were brothers. So, Bill graduated. All the Blankenship boys originated from a little town southeastern Oklahoma, our hometown, which is Spiro. And then Bill graduated from Spiro High School, played quarterback there, and they're in the late 70s. And then, I was a quarterback there for the Spiro Bulldogs in the early 2000s. And, just kind of there's kind of a running joke in our family. They say if you're a Blankenship boy, you're either a preacher or a football coach. And my dad's a preacher. I said, Lord, please don't make me do that. I want to coach football and still serve you in that way. But anyways, yeah. So our Josh and I, our grandfathers grew up there, and that was kind of where our roots are, right there in Little Spiro, Oklahoma.
Well, Lee Blankenship, you made quite a name for yourself as a head coach of Oklahoma High School football. I look at your career record now, 87-47. You've been to a state finals, taking Vegas to the 2017 state title game. Stopped at Bartlesville, Gore before that, and then on to Mustang 2019. Your fourth season with the Broncos, and had a heck of a run last year. Went to the state semifinals and took on Mighty Jenks and almost pulled it off, coach, to the semifinals.
Well, you know what? We are just excited to have the opportunity to work here. Our staff at Mustang, it's an unbelievable community. The administration support has been phenomenal. We not to go back to Bill, but I was at Gore, which is Class A school, one of the smallest schools in the state, and then on to Beggs, which was 3A at the time, and then Bartlesville 6A Division II, and now here at Mustang. And Bill kind of did the same thing. He was actually the head coach at our little town there in Spiro for several years, took the Bulldogs to the state title game in '87, and then got a chance to go to Edmond High School as their head coach. And just always kind of have emulated his career. And it's really special for me to have the chance to coach here at Mustang. We had a great run last year. We made it to the semifinals, 7th time in Mustang school history to accomplish that. And we've really got big goals this year to do that again and even improve on that.
Yeah, you were quoted in Vibe, the preseason magazine, as saying we've had an exceptional offseason. Our strength program is elevating this entire program.
Yes, sir. When I first got hired here at Mustang, we just looked and trying to figure out what do we need to focus on? What do we need to concentrate on and improve on to give ourselves an opportunity to, compete with the other schools in the state. Obviously there's the big East Side versus West Side thing, and people make a lot about that. I try not to let our kids buy in too much to that. Really at all. We just focus on us and maximizing our potential and being the best version of us that we can be. But the weight room was something that we really looked at and said, we've got to get stronger. When we looked at film and, when we're playing teams like Jenks or Owasso or Broken Arrow on tape, we saw our kids just getting driven off the ball. And, so we came in and said, we can't necessarily control, how big we are, how tall God made us, or your speed maxes out at a certain point, but we can control two things. We can control our strength and we can control our conditioning, and we're going to control what we can control and try to make both of those great. So we've just seen an improvement every year in our weight room totals. And I feel like our weight room, last year when we played Jenks, they didn't push us around, and it was really the first time that happened. Now they were big and strong, but we were too. There was a good collision there in the trenches, and we're really proud of that and expect that to continue. We feel like that's what's given us the ability to compete with those schools in the East.
Well, Michael Knight, our director, and of course, PrepRedZone.com, is very familiar with your school there, and tell me you have incredible facilities. Now the 3rd largest high school in the state behind is Broken Arrow and Union. So you guys are really competitive.
Yes, sir. Well, we're thankful. Our community is really excited about football right now, and we are blessed with facilities, and that's a big thing for kids these days. So it gives us a chance to really compete, and we feel like if we can mess around and get in that title game at some point, it's gonna blow up even more.
Well, Michael also gave me kind of a scouting report on some of your key players, talking about Jacoby Johnson, a senior wide receiver quarterback, commit to Oklahoma, Keegan Bass, an Air Force commit, a wide receiver, and your senior quarterback, Tristan Russell, said is a heck of a football player too, maybe one of the best in 6A1.
Yes, sir. Well, if you ask me, I think he is. Tristan has had a phenomenal year so far. I mean, he's on course to throw for 4,000 yards and just takes care of the football. 3-year starter for us. His first year as a sophomore was the COVID year in 2020. So, no spring football, no 7-on-7s, just a kid that, showed up at fall camp and won the job. And that was really impressive. And he's just gotten better and better every year. He's playing with a ton of confidence right now. Keegan Bass and Jacoby Johnson are two Division I athletes, and makes you look like you're doing a pretty good job as a coach when you got kids like that you can get the ball to, for sure.
Well, Lee, you're certainly one of the schools over the West Side closing the gap, but why has the East Side been so dominant over the years?
Well, that's a really good question. And again, I don't think I'm smart enough to have the answer to it, but I am smart enough to not let our kids focus on that. We just focus on us. We really believe that, it doesn't matter. We don't try to get all fired up because we're playing Owasso that week, or we've got Tulsa Union on the schedule. We want to be the same every day. We say win today here at Mustang. And what that means to us is we want to be the best version of ourselves today. And we want to practice to the best of our ability and prepare ourselves like we're playing in the championship every day. And it doesn't matter who the opponent is. We can't control that. We just focus on what we can control, and that's being the best version of us.
Lee Blankenship, head coach of the Mustang Broncos, and mark this date down, October 13th, the Union Redhawks come to Mustang. Ought to be a heck of a collision. Coach, we wish you all the best this season. Hope to see you in the playoffs again.
Appreciate you having me on. Thank you very much.
Lee Blankenship, Mustang head football coach, back to talk hockey right after this.
The Tulsa Oilers are back on the ice with a new owner, a new look, and a new attitude. Save big on season tickets today, 2022-23 season. Tickets starting as low as $17 per month. Get your season tickets at TulsaOilers.com. TulsaOilers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets available now at TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers are back.
The 2022 Remington Park Thoroughbred season continues through December 17th. Racing starts at 7 p.m. Normal weekly schedule is Wednesday through Saturday. Oklahoma Classics Night is Friday, October 21st, with more than $1 million on the line for the top Oklahoma breds. For more information on Remington Park Racing and Casino Gaming, visit remingtonpark.com.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
My name is Dr. Brittany Els. Here at Tulsa Bone and Joint Urgent Care, we treat a lot of athletes for wrist injuries, anything from sprains and fractures, elbow and shoulder injuries. Right here on site, we have the ability to do x-rays for your student athlete. We also have the ability to put them in a wrist brace or a knee brace if needed. And we have the ability to refer them to an orthopedic surgeon for follow-up care. We're an orthopedic urgent care, and we have a walk-in availability. You don't need an appointment. One of the things that makes our urgent care unique is that it is physician-run. We appreciate being able to care for your student athletes.
Get down with monsters and money this October at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa. Win up to $1 million October 15th, 22nd, and 29th. Take a chance and be one of 15 lucky winners rocking their way to the bank. Then, don't miss our $10,000 costume party. Dress to impress October 29th from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. and become one of 10 scary winners to claim some cash. Only at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa.
Well, it's October. It's almost hockey time. Always glad to be joined by good friend Rob Murray here, the coach of the Tulsa, I can say Ice Oilers now, I guess. Keep it
you always
straight
have.
Here. And I always have. I always call them Ice Oilers. But Rob, of course, getting set National Hockey League starting its 106th season, October the 7th, 32 teams playing 82 regular season games. We did the math on this, Coach. That's 1,312 hockey games. A lot of hiking.
I'm pretty sure they're all televised somewhere, too.
Right.
Between ESPN and the local networks. But, yeah, it's a lot of hockey.
Now, look, like the NHL, now on ESPN, they get a lot more exposure now the NHL is, too.
Yeah, it's kind of bounced back and forth. I mean, they went from ESPN to NBC Sportsnet, and then now back to ESPN again. Even, some of the, you can even tell because some of the announcers that were working for NBC no longer work the games for ESPN. And I don't know what I mean, I'm not privy to how all that works, but yeah, it's bounced around quite a bit.
And your Tulsa Ice Oilers have their first preseason game coming up on the next week from Saturday, October the 15th, at the Oilers Ice Center. That's the first time they've ever done that. The Ice Center ready for that?
I believe so. I mean, they've been doing a lot of work to it. Our back, the dressing room that we used to have when I first got the job here, we had a room in the back, and that was since taken away from us at the time, and now it's been refurbished to a locker room once again. And with what we didn't have back there, which we do now, is showers and toilets, and
nice,
it was just a room.
Yeah.
So that's looking really good. I think it's exciting, and it's going to be. I mean, I don't even know how many people they can get in there, quite honestly. Right. I mean, the fire code can't be more than 1,000 because it is a small building, but it'll be cozy and a lot of fun.
You'll be close to the action for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're not gonna, there's no nosebleeds there.
The Oilers Ice Center, by the way, in case you didn't know, is 6413 South Mingo Road. Been a long time here, and then Andy Skirdo bought that when he bought the team as well. Totally redone that, so it's much nicer for the fans too in there.
I believe so. I mean, again, Andy's put a lot of money into it. I don't know how much, but yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of work. He just put up a sign. We never had a sign, like a billboard sign out by the road, and that went up, I think, on Saturday. So kind of neat. And the one thing I told Andy myself, I said, the biggest thing for me, believe it or not, and it's an aesthetic thing, but he repaved the parking lot. And, and it makes a world of difference. It makes it look that much better. And I know the people there that I've talked to, youth hockey, figure skaters, they're really thrilled at how things have been taken care of and continue to get better at the OIC.
Let's talk about the impact this Andy Skirdo's had just his second year as an owner here. Just amazing what he's done, what he's accomplished, what he's still trying to do for the city.
Well, I know one of his main focuses coming in was youth hockey. Not only our team, the pro team, but I know he wants to really kind of expand the youth hockey in Tulsa, boys and girls.
Girls too, that's
yes,
right, yeah.
And he's very close to the girls' side of the hockey. His daughter plays. He owns the two women's teams, and he really wants to expand that in the Tulsa area. And then, with the Macy's building, it's getting gutted right now.
Yeah.
He's working on that. And so, within a year here, hopefully, we're going to have 2 extra ice surfaces, and plus the OIC makes 3. And I think that's just going to open it up for more kids to have the opportunity to play youth hockey.
Talk about the Oilers' schedule now, Coach. Your training camp schedule, when things get underway and the guys get on the ice there.
We start on Monday the 10th. We will have physicals on the 9th on Sunday. And then we begin on Monday. We're on the ice at 10 to 11:30, I believe, every day at the OIC, which is always open to the public if anybody wants to come by. We got an exhibition game on Wednesday evening in Allen, and then the game on Saturday night against Wichita at the OIC.
How do people realize it, but the Oilers, the Ice Oilers, are Tulsa's oldest professional franchise. This starts the 71st season of hockey in Tulsa.
And it's funny, I call myself a hockey purist, and when I found that out a couple of years ago, how long the team had been here, it was amazing. I mean, you look at some old pictures when the Toronto Maple Leafs were the affiliate here, chartered planes and whatnot, even back in the 30s and 40s, it's something that's really interesting to me because the historic side of it, but it's also just a show of the longevity and the fan support in this area, in the city of Tulsa, plus surrounding areas of supporting the hockey.
This 71st season will start for the Oilers on October 21st. They host the Allen Americans. The puck drops at 7:05 down at the BOK Center. The first of 36 home games, and 32 of those on weekends. Well, that's a great schedule.
Yeah, and we found it the last couple of years. 2 years ago was the COVID year. We kind of had our pick of the litter as far as scheduling went. This year, we've got a lot of not many Tuesday, Wednesday, midweek games that, hey, quite honestly, you don't get big crowds on those nights. And just it's a school night, and people, it's a work school night, and it's hard to bring people in the building. But you've got all those weekend dates. It's exciting to have that many weekend dates this year.
Talk about your ECHL league. Where would that fall in the competitiveness of hockey?
I always, compare it to baseball for Southerners in Oklahoma that understand. You got Major League, AAA, AA, A ball, and the ECHL is in comparison AA.
Right.
And so you've got the NHL, which our affiliate is the Anaheim Ducks. Then you've got the San Diego Gulls, which is in the American Hockey League, and then of course us here in Tulsa. So it's a AA affiliated league. I don't think it's used quite as similar as baseball is, but then again, baseball seems to have unlimited contracts to give out, whereas the NHL team only has 50 to use every year. So it brings that down a bit.
Pleased to be a roster. We have some returning guys fans be familiar with.
I mean, Adam Pleshkash, Mike McKee, Alex Crom, Daniel Manella will be back in net. A host of guys, Matsushima, Gilmore, Sadaway, a lot of holdovers from last season, to which we had it was a tougher summer 2 summers ago for me, where we had to build a whole new team, and but now hopefully we reap the rewards of the guys that are returning with a year under their belt and better for it.
Looking forward to NHL season again. We mentioned that's getting underway October 7th. Coach, Colorado Avalanche about to defend the Cup, and wide open this year. What do you think?
Well, again, it's a war of attrition, honestly, Chris. And when you get in the playoffs, if you can stay healthy, the way they played last year, Colorado, and the team they have, they're going to be tough to beat.
Remember, next Saturday, October the 15th, that's the Oilers Ice Center, their first preseason game they played there. Then we get the season underway. October 21st, hosting Allen Americans, and the puck drops at 7:05. Looking for Oilers hockey and Billy Sims Barbecue. Taking care of you, Coach. Welcome out to the show, and enjoy that with the wife.
All right.
Good to see you as always, pal. Look forward to the whole season with the Oilers here. The Ice Oilers. We'll be back and talk horse racing. Rich Strike, remember our Kentucky Derby winner? He's back in action. You won't believe what happened to him in this race. That's next.
The 2022 Remington Park Thoroughbred season continues through December 17th. Racing starts at 7 p.m. Normal weekly schedule is Wednesday through Saturday. Oklahoma Classics Night is Friday, October 21st, with more than $1 million on the line for the top Oklahoma breds. For more information on Remington Park Racing and Casino Gaming, visit remingtonpark.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Caleb Nelly with Tulsa Bone and Joint in Owasso.
And I'm Dr. Ian Goodman with Tulsa Bone and Joint in Owasso, and we are your team physicians for the Owasso Rams.
I'm Zach McGinty.
I'm Kate Grady.
I'm Destry Millsap.
And we are the athletic trainers for the Owasso Rams.
Here's some of the services that we provide in the Tulsa Bone and Joint Athletic Training Facility.
Billy Sims knows barbecue. How about 9 meats, including brisket, chicken, pork, turkey, and ribs? Just to name a few, and 7 home-style sides. We start early to slow smoke the most delicious meats for over 12 hours.
Every day.
Wherever you want, online, dine-in, curbside, or carry-out. We've had a passion for over 15 years of serving delicious barbecue to people like you. Billy Sims has fast, drop-in friendly neighborhood service. Loud enough for a tailgate and fancy enough for a wedding. Like we said, Billy Sims knows barbecue.
The Tulsa Oilers are back on the ice. With a new owner, a new look, and a new attitude. Save big on season tickets today, 2022-23 season. Tickets starting as low as $17 per month. Get your season tickets at TulsaOilers.com. TulsaOilers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets available now at TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers are back.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
You remember Rich Strike, the 80-1 long shot owned by Oklahoma, to won the Kentucky Derby this year. Well, he returned to the Derby track, Churchill Downs, running in the Grade 2 $500,000 Lucas Classic race. First time against older horses, the only 3-year-old in the field of 6, still not getting the respect we think he deserves. He was the 4th betting choice. He went off in that field. Let's take a look at the race now coming down the stretch.
And here comes the Derby winner. 1 furlong to go. Hot Rod Charlie has to dig in, but Rich Strike has swept to the lead. It's Rich Strike in front. Hot Rod Charlie fights with him to the wire. Rich Strike and Hot Rod Charlie desperately close. Oh, it's a photo.
Well, that photo showed Hot Rod Charlie on the inside by a nose over Rich Strike, but the real story of this was Rich Strike's saddle slipped in the stretch of the race. The jockey almost fell off, went actually into Hot Rod Charlie. That surely had to be a big part of costing him that victory, just losing by a nose. After that second place finish in that race, second place finish at the Big Traverse Stakes in Saratoga, looks like Rich Strike has earned the chance to go to the Breeders' Cup Classic in Kentucky in November. All right, now let's check in Remington Park. Going to join our friend Dale Day as we take a look at some of the contenders getting ready for the big Oklahoma Classic race coming up on October 21st in Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma Derby Day is behind us here at Remington Park, but the big race card provided a preview of some top state-bred horses we could expect to see here on Oklahoma Classics night.
Hits Pricey Legacy, drawing away by 3.
From the Oklahoma Derby Day card, hits Pricey Legacy, winner of the Grade 3 Remington Park Oaks. She's expected next to compete in the Classics Distaff. Owner, trainer, breeder C.R. Trout is primed for many Classics wins. In addition to hits Pricey Legacy, Jackpot Baby emerged from the Derby Day card, stamping her status for the Classics Lassie.
3 wide right there, Jackpot Baby with a quarter mile left, the half one at 46.87 seconds to the top of the stretch. More Lively showing the way now to the lead. It's More Lively on top. Uglogro trying to answer inside. Jackpot Baby to the outside. An all-out drive. Race on to the Gaylord. More Lively. Here's Jackpot Baby on side now, and Jackpot Baby going to the lead. Jackpot Baby now by a neck. More Lively trying to come back. It will be Jackpot Baby in the Gaylord.
The Gaylord victory kept Jackpot Baby undefeated through 2 career starts. A Classics regular did not compete on Derby Day, but did put in a solid allowance prep on September 28th for her return to the Classics Distaff.
Past the quarter pole, She's All Wolf on top by a pair. After 6 furlongs in a minute 13.86 seconds, She's All Wolf with the advantage. Here comes Utisha rolling to the outside. She's All Wolf with the furlong pole, having to reach down for more. Utisha is going to make her work. It's Utisha within a length now. She's All Wolf finds just a tad more and inches a little farther away, and She's All Wolf with a measured victory here by length and a half.
She's All Wolf back and winning again at Remington Park. She's expected next in the Oklahoma Classics Distaff. Classics night takes place on Friday, October 21st at Remington Park. Added to the event this year, the Oklahoma Craft Classics, featuring top local breweries and their beers. The event is from 6 to 9 p.m. on Track North. The VIP event begins 1 hour earlier on Classics night. Live racing continues Wednesday through Saturday at Remington Park. First race, 7:07 p.m. At Remington Park in Oklahoma City, I'm Dale Day. Now back to Sports Scene.
Next, something new on Oklahoma Sports Scene. It's Lincoln's 2 cents worth. My commentary is going to be about what's going on with the Oklahoma Sooners.
The 2022 Remington Park Thoroughbred season continues through December 17th. Racing starts at 7 p.m. Normal weekly schedule is Wednesday through Saturday. Oklahoma Classics night is Friday, October 21st, with more than $1 million on the line for the top Oklahoma breds. For more information on Remington Park racing and casino gaming, visit remingtonpark.com.
You did it, Tulsa. You name the team. We name the team. You name the team. The Tulsa Oilers indoor football team kicks off in March, Saturday nights, 7 p.m., BOK Center. Season tickets are on sale now. Go to TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com to get your season tickets now. Don't miss your chance to experience the fast pace, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of professional indoor football. TulsaOilersFootball.com. TulsaOilersFootball.com.
Josie's on his vacation far away. Come around and talk it over.
Times may change, but the feeling stays the same.
Stay alive but keep it undercover. I just want to use your love tonight. Whoa. I don't
your greatest hits at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Tulsa.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
Billy Sims knows barbecue. How about 9 meats, including brisket, chicken, pork, turkey, and ribs? Just to name a few, and 7 home-style sides. We start early to slow smoke the most delicious meats for over 12 hours.
Every day.
Wherever you want, online, dine in, curbside, or carry out. We've had a passion for over 15 years of serving delicious barbecue to people like you. Billy Sims has fast, drop-in friendly neighborhood service, loud enough for a tailgate and fancy enough for a wedding. Like we said, Billy Sims knows barbecue.
Well, I'm adding Lincoln's 2 cents worth. A little commentary at the end of each one of our Oklahoma Sports Scene shows now. This is going to involve, of course, one of the great rivalries in college football. It's the Battle of Oklahoma-Texas. This is the 118th time they've met. At least it should be the great rivalry. But after the Sooners croaked at the Frogs last week and a 6-point favorite, losing by 31 in that 55-24 beatdown, back-to-back losses to purple teams. OU hasn't lost 3 straight, by the way, since the John Blake days, 1998. OU now ranks 119th in rushing defense. That's not good. That's out of 130 teams. Historically, the team that runs the football best in the Cotton Bowl wins the OU-Texas game. So how does the program also like Oklahoma? I have a question here. How do they end up with a backup quarterback who was a 3rd-string guy at Pittsburgh University and transferred in the portal there? While Texas leads the overall series, Oklahoma has dominated of late. Since 2018, the Sooners have won 4 straight. They've also won 6 of the last 7 from the Longhorns. Now, Saturday's 11 a.m. kickoff on ABC, as both teams with 3-2 records. Texas 7th in the Big 12. OU last in the Big 12 at 0-2, and for the first time since 1998, neither one of the schools are ranked for the game. Oklahoma hired Brent Venables, of course, for his defensive concepts. I think what we've learned is, like Barry Switzer told me, it's not the X's and O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes. We needed those Clemson defensive football players for this team. Longhorns, by the way, are favored by 5 points. With all that said, OU will beat Texas this Saturday. Get things straightened out for the 5th straight time. And here are the words to live by. You know, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. Pass that on to your friends, too. All right, let's take a look now. That's my Lincoln 2 cents worth. Let's take a look now at what's coming up next week on Oklahoma Sports Scene. Oklahoma City Thunder TV reporter Nick Gallo gives us a preview of the Thunder team and of the NBA season getting underway next week. And one of the newest members of the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, stay with me, Tinker. We're still trying to get Tinker Owens on the show, a great receiver of the Oklahoma Sooners. Some great insight with him. And you won't believe the scholarship came down between him and one other player at OU, and you'll know this player's name too. That's with Tinker Owens next week. And Tulsa Bone and Joint will send over Dr. Christopher Crane to talk very timely about concussions. All that next on Oklahoma Sports Scene. Join us Wednesday, Friday 10:30, Saturday 11 o'clock on Cox Channel 3 across the state of Oklahoma. See you next week.